Hey everyone, Tesla Tom here, thanks for joining us. Well, today we're going to do a payback video for my 8.4 kilowatt solar system and Tesla Powerwall 2 if I were to purchase that system today. So 8.4 kilowatts of solar plus a Powerwall 2, just to remind you, that's 13.5 kilowatt hour capacity. Okay, so now I've had 12 months of this system and I've got 4 quarterly power bills, so I can give you some real world data. So let's go through them right now. I've got my spring bill, and for that I paid $126.99. I've got a winter bill. For that I paid $260.31, and I've also got an autumn bill, and that was $93.44, and a summer bill, which is the best one so far and the most recent one that I've got, at $25.03. So that is now 12 months of data, and so 4 quarterly bills. Right, so if we were to add all that up, let's make sure you can see that, excellent. So if I would add all that up, I would get $505.77. So that's how much I've paid so far for 12 months in real world power bills. I've also got an electric car plan, which I'm paying through AGL, which is my power company. For that, I'm getting $1 a day, so $1 per day. For $1 a day, I get to charge my Tesla for as much as I want, which is a great plan, unfortunately no longer available. Let's take that away from this bill, and I'll tell you why in a second why I'm doing this. If I do that, I get $140.77. I'm going to do this because I'm going to compare this to the amount of electricity I would have used if I didn't have solar and Powerwall 2, and obviously work out the savings that way. I'm also going to deduct away from this figure my supply charge, and again I'll tell you why in a second. So for my supply I'm paying $1.05 per day. $1.05 per day. So if I take that away from this figure, so $1.05 times 365 becomes $383.25. So if I take that figure away from that figure, I get minus $242.48. So in summary, 4 quarterly power bills, $505.77. If I take away my electric car plan, which is $1 a day, over a year is $365, I get that figure. If I take away the supply charge, which is $1.05 per day, times 365, I get $383.25. Take that away from that. This is how much I'm in credit, $242.48 in 1 year. So that's the figure for 1 year, which is basically the last 12 months, 2019/2020, in 4 seasons. So let's keep that figure in mind, $242.48, as I rub all this out. And by the way, this is all in Australian dollars, okay? So Australian dollars, keep that in mind. Okay, so thanks to the Tesla Powerwall 2 app, or the Tesla app on my phone, I can tell you exactly how much I'm using in electricity for my house every day. So I've actually used the data from that, and I've added up every single day's worth of electricity that the house uses, minus the car, by the way. I know I've got electric cars, but for the purposes of this payback calculation, I'm going to take away the cars because I know electric cars aren't really, it's not across the board yet, and so most people in Australia aren't going to have an electric car. So this is basically for a non-electric car situation. So basically I'm using, at the moment, my home, over the last 12 months, I've used 19.6 kilowatt hours per day on average across the year. So of that 19.6 kilowatt hours, I've also got a heat pump, and the heat pump uses on average 3 kilowatt hours per day. So let's break that up into 16.6 kilowatt hours per day, and that's for general. And then we're going to split this 3 kilowatt hours per day for the hot water. I'm doing this because AGL and a lot of electric power companies in Australia actually allow you to put hot water on a controlled load, which is a bit cheaper than the general rate. And that sort of allows you to save some money on your bill. So let's do the calculations there. At 16.6 kilowatt hours per day, if I'm with AGL's general plan, they're charging me 29 cents per kilowatt hour on a standard tariff. So if you times that by that, you are going to get $4.80 per day times 365 days. And in 1 year, if I use 16.6 kilowatt hours per day, I'm going to have to pay $1,757.11. So that's the general usage side. For the hot water side, the controlled load is sold at 16.5 cents per kilowatt hour. And if you multiply that by that, you're going to get 50 cents per day for hot water usage. If you have a heat pump, which I do, times that by 365 days again, and that figure becomes $180.68. So if you add these two figures up together, in total, you'll get the grand total of $1,937.79. So that is how much I would pay if I didn't have solar and Powerwall 2, if I was using 19.6 kilowatt hours per day. So that's the figure I would pay without any renewables in my house. So with that in mind, I'm going to rub this out again, and then we're going to do the calculations on if I had solar and Powerwall 2, what that number would be, a number of years payback. So just rub all this out. So again, let's put solar, just to remind you again, guys. It's an 8.4 kilowatt system plus Powerwall 2, that's 13.5 kilowatt hours. Okay, so just to remind you, the credit I'm receiving, so with my real world data, so real world credit is $242.48, and again, that is without the supply charge, and that is without the EV plan. And then if I didn't have Powerwall 2 or solar, I would be having to pay, without solar, battery, I was going to have to pay $1,937.79. So I guess the amount I'm saving per annum, and again, that's without the supply charge, of course, because this doesn't have supply charge, so we're keeping things equal. So really, my savings per annum, if you add these two figures up, you get $2,180.27 per annum. And that comprises of this figure, which is I'm saving that amount without solar and battery. That's how much I would have had to pay without the renewables in my house. And this is how much I'm saving, or I'm getting credit with the renewables in my house. So add the two figures up, and that's how much I would save, or that's how much I'm saving now, having solar and Powerwall 2 in my house. So with that figure in mind, this is really important. So this is like real world data. You can't argue with that, because this is what I've experienced in the last 12 months. So I guess quotes for this system, 8.4 kilowatt and 13.5 kilowatt hour Powerwall 2, they vary greatly across the different states. And even across a city like Sydney, you get many different quotes from different suppliers, and there are many situations, like your house, obviously, everyone's house differs, right? You've got a different type of roof, different access to the electricity in the house and the wiring and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to give you a quote because there are just too many variables, but I'm going to give you a range instead. So in general in Sydney at least, you can get a quote for this system between $20,000 and $25,000. And I think if you're paying that much in this range for this system, I think you're doing pretty well. If you're paying 15 grand, for example, if you live in a state that is supplying you a subsidy for either the battery and or the Powerwall and or the solar system, then if you're doing 15 grand for that, you're doing really well. And I'm going to put in here on the right, if you happen to pay a lot more, not to say that you're getting ripped off, but for some reason you need to pay more for access in your house, for whatever reason, it's a tricky job for your house, then 30 grand is kind of the upper limit for my little calculation here. So I've worked out that if you are paying 20 grand for this system, or if I paid 20 grand for the system today and I save this much money, then I would be looking at a 9.17 years payback for a $20,000 quote for this system. If I'm paying $25,000 for the system, then I'm looking at an 11.5 year payback. If I'm paying $15,000, again, that's a great deal, then I'm looking at a 6.9 year payback. If I'm paying $30,000 for whatever reason, then I'm looking at a 13.8 years payback. So I'm going to write this out just to remind you guys, solar 8.4 kilowatt plus Powerwall 2 battery payback range. Alright guys, well there you have it. Again, in summary, if you're paying $20,000 for this system, you're looking at about a 9-year payback. If you're paying $25,000 for this system, this is 11.5 year payback. If you're paying $30,000, then it's 13.8 years. If you're lucky enough to pay only $15,000, then you're looking at 6.9 years. The warranty for a Powerwall 2 is currently 10 years, and the warranty for most solar systems is 25-year limited, sometimes 10 for the parts itself, but for the actual production is 25 years. So, it's questionable whether a 10-year warranty will be enough to cover payback-wise for a system that costs over $20,000. But I must say there are other reasons and other factors that come into play as to why you'd buy a battery. Obviously there are a lot more reasons, like for energy security. I think that's number one. The fact that you've got backup for your home in times of need, like if there are blackouts a lot in your area. The fact that you're not relying on coal energy in some countries like Australia. A lot of our energy is produced by coal power. The fact that you can generate your own power, I think that's a nice feeling as well. Anyway, I've done videos on this in the past. I won't go through into that too much, but the reason for this video was to tell you about the payback range for this system and a range of quotes as well. Alright guys, well hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to hearing all your comments, and going to write here as well that today is it's currently March 2020, so this is an updated video from my other video that you guys might have seen for a payback for a Powerwall 2 system, and of course these are all in Australian dollars as well, so keep that in mind if you are watching from overseas. This is our current situation here in Australia. Thanks for watching guys, and as always, happy charging.